Okay, so as you've noticed, part 1 ended abruptly because the memory got full, that is. So technically this is part 2 of my video project that showed the notable interments here at Forest Lawn, Long Beach, where my dad is also buried. So part 2 will be going way over there. You see that mural on the distance. We'll be going over there. We'll be walking through a path right over here. So let's go. So this area is actually what they call the Gardens of Devotion, where my dad is buried. So we'll be taking a footpath close to where we're going to right now, and be crossing into that footpath where all the statues are, right over there. Okay. So I brought my mom. So yeah, along that footpath, we'll be heading to the Garden of Meditation. Okay. So my dad's actually buried right over there. Okay. But we'll be going to my dad's grave right now. As I mentioned, we'll be following this footpath, going right. Go. As always, every time I come here to the cemetery, someone's getting buried. Well, I guess it happens every day. Not sure every day, but every time I come here, usually that tent you see right there, that means someone is going to be buried there or already buried. Okay. Okay, let me zoom up on that mural right there. It's actually a copy of Raphael's painting, or mural, titled Paradise. And the original is actually at the Vatican. Okay. Let's pull back, show you more of this area. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like for this part, yeah, looks like someone's about to be buried there. Nice bright blue skies today. Yeah, it's pretty close to summer here in the US. So I'm recalling a grave that actually intrigued me. I'm not sure if I passed it or I'm still about to come towards it, but we'll stop by there once I see it. Okay, and there's some statues right there on the side. Whenever I see statues like this, kind of reminds me of that Doctor Who episode, Blink, which is the Weeping Angels. And sometimes Weeping Angels, they turn into that, but sometimes they start out as statues without wings, like that. Oh, there's the grave. Okay, so I'm gonna stop over here. There you go, this really intrigued me. Okay, so Reena, Shulman, Patton, January 2, 1947, September 16, 2002. Born in a refugee camp in Germany after World War II, of a Jewish father who survived Siberia and a Jewish mother who survived Auschwitz. You know what Auschwitz is, right? Immigrated to America at age 2, attained 2 master's degrees, taught English in Los Angeles public schools for 30 years. Loving mother of Ian Sean Patton, loving wife of Fred Benson, lost to cancer. Yeah, so I found this very interesting because basically told a snippet of her life, and in a way she's also a Holocaust survivor, in a way. And bottom here looks like it's reserved for her husband, who is pretty sure still alive. Okay, that's why it's blank right there. waiting for him to join her in heaven. Okay, moving on. That's a statue right there. I actually made an album on my Facebook and posted the pics I have of these statues, and as well as this area right here. Okay. Okay, so this area right here, we're not going to be going there, is actually acacia way over there. This is azalea. Yeah, it's a shame there's no notable interments in that area. I'd be happy to take you over there, but there's nothing there right now. Maybe veterans. I would love to do a video of all the veteran graves of soldiers, veterans, sailors from all types of wars buried here, to honor them. Since so yesterday was Memorial Day. Yeah, it was Monday and today's Tuesday. Okay. So we're coming up to the Gardens of Sacraments. As you can see, just behind the building is what they call the Cathedral Tower, part of the Cathedral Church of the Sunnyside Mausoleum, which will be treating the notable interments in there as soon as I cover everyone here in this park. Okay. There you go. Interesting here. Garden of Revelation. That covers this area right there. Okay. Watch your step. Oh, excuse me. Okay, yes. Also posted some pictures of these statues in this area. So yeah, so we're in the Gardens of the Sacraments, or Garden of Sacraments. And there we go. Closer look of Raphael's Paradise. Okay, so the notable grave that we'll be looking up on is way over here. Flies. Okay, there you go. Over here, that's the grave of rapper, musician, songwriter Nate Dogg. Real name Nathaniel D. Hale. Okay, so this is a very elaborate grave marker. There are actually a couple of videos, or maybe more than that, of fans coming over here. And there was an earlier video where he had like an ordinary gravestone, much like this one, but family decided a more elaborate gravestone as this. Okay, so let me read out. In memory of Nathaniel D. Hale, beloved son, brother and father, Nate Dogg, King of Hooks. That's the nickname they gave him. Time does change, but music remains the same. I hit him with the music from the slaves. Oh my goodness, what my ancestors gave. I don't want you to think. I don't know. They taught me how to reach deep down and touch the soul. Without my music, where would I be? You taught me how to cry, still remain a G. You keep a lot of soldiers at ease, and together the next level proceed. My music and me, music and me, music and me, music and me, music and me go together. Perfect harmony. Soft and mellow or so hard, I'll make your speakers explode. Stay with me and together we will live out this dream. My music and me. It ain't a hit until Nate Dogg spit. And there you go. And that's a SEAL, United States Marine Corps, so he was part of the Marines. So yeah, so I salute you, sir. Thank you for the service to your country. August 19, 1969, died March 15, 2001. There you go. So yeah, let me talk more about him from his Wikipedia page. Okay. Alright, here we go. American singer, rapper, and songwriter, being best known for providing guest vocals for a multitude of rap hits between 1994 and 2007, earning him the King of Hooks. Okay. Began his career in the early 1990s, a member of 213, a trio formed in 1990 with his cousin Snoop Dogg and friend Warren G. Okay. Let's see here. He suffered from a stroke and another stroke which took his life on March 15, 2011, and died here in Long Beach, California. Complication of multiple strokes or by congestive heart failure. Yeah. So there you go. Okay. So looks like that's much as I could say from the page and from what is written here on this grave marker. Okay. Let's move on to the next notable grave, shall we? Okay. So we'll cross over this way. Actually, one time there was construction over there and didn't know how to get here, and found this way over here next to the Memorial Chapel. Okay. Oh, see that? The shadow of a hummingbird. Wonder if we can catch it on camera. So yeah, so this is the, I would say, west side of the Memorial Chapel, where we held our dad's wake 3 years ago. Okay. And we'll be heading over there, that area right there. It's the area of benevolence, where there are a couple of actors, film actor and a former child star are in this area. So here we go. It's the Memorial Chapel. As I mentioned, this is where I held the wake of my dad. Let's get a more. Shoot it. Right. Facing the sun. It's got a little bit more farther. So yeah, here we are at the area of benevolence. And the first grave will be going to is the grave of actor, producer, comedian Rickie Harris. Okay, there we go. So there we go. That's the Memorial Chapel. There's actually another chapel, as I mentioned, in the mausoleum, the Cathedral Chapel, which, regarding Rickie Harris, there's a connection there. So let's look for Rickie Harris now. Okay, should be around here. You know, the gravestone is very distinctive because it has a star on it. Okay. Alright, let me find you, man. Where are you, man? I guess this one would be called the Grave Seeker video for nothing, since you're still seeking out the graves. There it is. Hey. Okay, here we are. I should use that tree as a reference, but sometimes I get confused. Okay, so this is Richard Rickie G. Harris II. Okay. Born October 5, 1965. Died December 26, 2016. Beloved son, father, uncle, brother, one of the good stars. Okay. He's buried along with Paul Waddell, March 1947, January 20. Oops, damn. Okay. Almost dropped my camera. January 29, 2012. There you go. Okay. Not sure what the relation is. So yeah, so Rickie Harris, like I said, is a producer, actor, comedian, and starred he starred as Malvo on the TV sitcom Everybody Hates Chris. He was also in movies Poetic Justice and Heat, okay, as well as Hard Rain, Bones, and he lent his voice in the video game series Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Okay, so going in connection with the Cathedral Chapel, which you can see the Cathedral Tower from here. Okay, so they held his wake over there at the chapel. A lot of visitors. Snoop Dogg was there. Cedric the Entertainer was there. And then there's actually video of this and news coverage you can find on YouTube. A fight broke out, okay? And Snoop Dogg was involved. Looks like someone there was, I don't know, threw a punch at him, and then every chaos broke loose. And you can see like people really upset that, you know, they couldn't control themselves or respect the man who was just passed away. And then they went on this brawl during his wake, and a lot of people got upset there, and total lack of disrespect for the late Mr. Harris right here. Yeah, people just can't control their anger. Okay, all right. So that's the story I got for you for this one. Let's move on to the next one. To the former child actress, but she was able to, you know, still do work in her teenage years. Okay, and the actress's name, and she has a very intriguing story as well. Okay, that's pretty close here. I usually use that telephone pole. There we go. The telephone pole right here too. Yeah, that one right there. I use as a landmark to find her grave. Okay. The one I'm looking for is Terry Burnham. Okay. It should be like around here. Terry Burnham. Could be behind me. Oh, I have a letter engraved right here. Let me just read it out. George W. Fleischman Jr., Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Air Force, World War II. June 23, 1923, November 14, 2000. Love never fails. I salute to you, sir. Thank you for your service to this great country. Okay, I'm looking for Terry Burnham. Okay, that's... Oh, there she is. Okay. There you go. Yay. There we go. Okay, so closer. Elizabeth Teresa Terry Burnham. Born August 8, 1949. Died October 7, 2013. Sterling child actress of the silver screen. Universally beloved by her followers. Okay, and she's actually buried with her mother, Betty Burnham, right here. Born 1916, died 1993. Beloved wife and mother. Okay, so Terry Burnham is famous for that season 1 Twilight Zone episode. I believe 1960, was it? Yeah, A Nightmare as a Child, where she played this blank face girl who was discovered by a neighbor. Okay, without spoiling anything, this girl gives an ominous warning to this adult who's a teacher. Yeah, and because she suffered from a traumatic event, her mother died or was murdered, but they weren't able to catch the killer. So this child is warning her that about something's about to happen. Okay, so yeah, without spoiling anything, go check it up. I know it's on Netflix, Twilight Zone series. The title is A Nightmare as a Child. Okay, So yeah, so Terry, like all children, grew up. She started other films, started other TV series. Then she lived in obscurity in her later years. I read that she was living in a trailer park in Compton, something like that, and then she just died, and suddenly died, yeah. And she had no more next of kin to pick up her remains at the morgue in Los Angeles. Okay, and her remains remained there for 2 years after her death. Then a fan of hers, Twilight Zone fan, found out about her remains being there and actually bought her remains. They have them cremated, made ash, and kept the urn. Okay, but then he decided to go hold a fundraiser so she could be buried here next to her mom, here in Long Beach. Okay, so I believe it took like 3 years. 3 years after, yeah, for the funds to get accumulated, and yeah, so I believe in 2016 she was buried here. The 2016, 2018. Yeah, and it took 3 years for the funds to get done, and yeah, there's actually a video on YouTube showing her burial of her ashes right here at this spot. Yeah, so she was actually buried on August 8th, 2016. Yeah, from what I recall. I could be wrong, but that's how I remember it. Yeah, so the loving devotion of her fans, they want her to be buried here in her hometown. Yeah, she was born in Long Beach. She studied here, and now she's not together with her mom right there. Okay, so let's move on to the next notable person. Pretty close over there. It's actually pretty close to the entrance gates right here. Okay, so let's go over there. Let's hustle. Yeah, the area I'll be going to is called Jonquil. Jonquil. Okay, very pretty close to the gates. Another child star, to be specific, a Disney child star. I'll tell you more about him as soon as I get there. Okay, better hustle. I want to cover up as much here in this part 2 video. Okay, here we are. Okay, so the next we're going to be coming up at is the grave of Rickie Sorensen, former Disney child star. And here we are. Okay, there we go. Rickie Sorensen. Actually, pull up his Wikipedia page right here. Okay, bear with me. Okay, so Rickie Sorensen, born August 26, 1946, died August 24, 1994. He's more famous for being one of the voices of the child King Arthur, or Wart, in the Disney movie The Sword and the Stone. Remember that movie? Yeah, he's one of the voices. I believe there were like 3 child actors that were used to portray the voice of Wart. I don't know why, but now that if you watch the movie, you'll find that there actually has 3 distinct voices in that movie. The one who played the character of King Arthur, or also known as Wart. Okay, he was also in the television series Father of the Bride. Died of cancer in Linwood, California, 2 days before his 48th birthday, and buried here at Forest Lawn, Long Beach. Okay, so I guess you're wondering, why am I looking at a grave that says Lonnie DeVore Sorensen, born 1939, died 1981, beloved son and brother? It is because it is said that Rickie Sorensen is actually buried here with his brother, and he doesn't have his own grave marker. Yeah, I guess the family decided to make it unmarked. Yeah, though I would love to think that he was actually buried right here, beside here. I would love to think that, but I think the story is more true that he was buried right here with his older brother. Okay, as a matter of fact, his mother and father is also buried here. Here we got John Martin Sorensen Sr., 1913 to 1984, beloved husband and father, and his mother, Ruth Pauline Sorensen, born 1920, died 1994, beloved wife and mother. Okay, there we go. So we're still going to be in the Jonquil area, and the next notable grave is right over there. Okay, let's hustle. So yeah, the one we'll be coming up is former MLB player. He played shortstop as an 8-time All-Star. His name is Vernon Stevens. Yeah, Vernon Stevens. Yeah, and how I use that gate right here, the maintenance shop, and these trees as a landmark. So, okay, ooh, they went. Okay, for a minute there I thought the sprinkler's on, because usually when the sprinkler's on, the grave gets gets waterlogged. Okay, good thing it's not waterlogged right here. Okay, there we go. So here's the Vernon D. Stephens. Okay, the light is. Let me block it with my shadow. There you go. See that? Okay, so that's Vernon D. Stephens, Jr., born 1920, died in 1968. And buried with his wife Bernice Stephens, born 1920, died 1964, loving wife, mother, and grandmother. Okay, for Vern Stephens, beloved husband and father. Okay, so intriguing story here. I was looking for this grave because it's unmarked. Actually, I find a grave, and at the office they don't have a marker of it because the family likes to protect its privacy, I guess, and they want fans going over this grave. However, and find a grave, I did find a picture of it that was taken in 2004, and yeah, so there was a marker right here instead of being unmarked. And I noticed it was buried with his wife, and so I actually searched for the grave where his wife's grave is. So Bernie Stephens went to the office and they gave me the location, and sure enough, found you, Mr. Stephens. Can't hide from me. Okay, there you go. So I pretty much told much. He's a shortstop, 8-time All-Star, and he was also a batting leader, an RBI leader, and all that stuff. Okay, unfortunately he didn't win a World Series, much like Ed Roebuck from part 1. And there you go. Okay, let's now go to the next grave, the last grave here. We're going to the Gardenia area, and hopefully before my memory runs out again. So let's hustle. Okay. Let's go. So on the way over there, I'm gonna tell you next grave. Okay, next grave we're coming up to is film actor Frank Sully. He's a character actor, played a lot of heavies or villains in over 240 films. Okay, so much like Vern Stephens, I saw his grave marker. Someone took a picture of his grave marker back in 2004, and unfortunately now the family want to make it private, so his marker's no longer there. Right now it's an unmarked grave, so I can find it very quickly before my memory runs out. Okay. Okay, come on. Where are you? And there's this area. I'm getting too close. It's here. Yeah, it's right here. It's actually right here. Yeah, just in the nick of time. Yeah. So this is an unmarked grave of Frank Sully.